Hello dear students, welcome to English second paper class of Academic English brought to you by this virtual platform. How are you all? I hope and believe that all of you are staying well and healthy by the grace of God. This is your Simi Miss warmly welcoming you all to this virtual presentation. Dear boys, in our previous lectures we have been discussing about transformation of sentences. As the part of transformation of sentences, we have been discussing changing sentences from exclamatory to assertive. And today also we will be discussing the same topic, that is transformation of sentences. As the part of transformation of sentences, today we are going to discuss changing sentences from positive to comparative and superlative and vice versa. Dear boys, we are already informed about our second round quiz. In the syllabus of second round quiz, we have two topics. These are transformation of sentences and connectors. Dear boys, you have already got two classes on connectors. I will try my best to provide some more classes on connectors. As per our notice, we all are informed about the quiz exam, and we all know that this quiz exam is going to be taken in Google form. So dear boys, this exam is going to be taken like an MCQ exam in Google format. Okay, so what you need to do, when link will be provided, you have to write down your email address, your roll number and necessary informations, and after that you have to correct the answer in your question paper. Okay dear boys, so you need not to be worried about your exam. I will try my best to take a demo exam before your quiz exam. So dear boys, now let's move to our lesson. Dear boys, today we are going to discuss transformation of sentences, changing sentences from positive to comparative and superlative. Okay. So firstly, here you see the structure of positive sentence. I mean the structure of positive degree or positive sentence. Here you can see. Firstly, you have to write down NP1. NP means noun or pronoun or noun phrase. Then you have to write down be verb and article, then adjective, noun phrase 2, NP2, that means noun or pronoun or noun phrase 2, and extension. So here you can see an example. She is a good girl in the class. She is a good girl in the class. This is the structure of positive sentence, and this is an example. So secondly, here you can see the structure of comparative sentence. Okay, you see NP1, be verb, adjective, and comparative form of adjective actually. Then after that any other and NP2. I have already mentioned that NP2 indicates to noun or pronoun or noun phrase. Okay, then extension. Here you can see the example. She is better than any other girl in the class. She is better than any other girl in the class. Right. So this is another structure for comparative sentence. Here you can see NP1 plus be verb plus adjective, comparative form of course, and then you have to write down then all other NP2, that is plural form, and after that extension. Okay, Here you can see the example. She is better than all other girls in the class. So we have got two structures for comparative form. One is she is better than any other girl in the class. The second one is she is better than all other girls in the class. A little bit change here. You can see a little bit change. Now when we use any other, then we use singular form of NP. Okay, when we use all other, then we use plural form of NP, right? So here you can see the structure of superlative sentence or superlative form. Firstly, here we have NP1, then be verb, then the adjective, superlative form of adjective, NP2, and extension. Here you can see the example. She is the best girl in the class. She is the best girl in the class. So, in this lesson, what are we going to do? We are going to change positive sentences in comparative, or comparative sentence into superlative, or superlative sentence into comparative, or superlative sentence into positive. So these all are the structure of positive, comparative, and superlative sentences. So dear boys, we have to change sentences from superlative to comparative, or comparative to superlative. So we are going to do all these type of changing, right? So here you see the structure of positive sentence again. So firstly, we have got a structure which is the natural structure for positive sentence. But when we are going to change sentences from comparative to positive or superlative to positive without changing the meaning, we have to follow this structure. Right, dear boys? When we want to change the sentences from comparative to positive or superlative to positive, we should not change the meaning. And if we want to change this type of sentences into positive, then we should follow this structure. Not the first one, but we are going for the second one. Okay? So here you can see the structure. Firstly, no other, then NP2 extension, be, as, adjective, as, NP1. So now let's try to change the sentences. Here we have a superlative sentence. So what we need to do, we are going to change this superlative sentence into positive following this structure, right? So here you can see, he is the best boy in the class. He is the best boy in the class. So firstly we have to write down no other. Okay, to change this superlative sentence into positive, firstly we need to write down no other. Okay, so here you can see we will write down no other, and after that we have to write down NP2. Which one is NP2 here? For your better understanding, I have written NP1 and NP2 here. So the boy is NP2 here. So we will write down no other boy, and then the rest of the sentences in the class, then be verb is, then as according to the structure. No other boy in the class is as, then what? Then we have to write down the adjective. So here you see the best is the superlative form of the adjective here. So we have to write down the positive form of this superlative adjective. So here we are going to write down good, better, best. So good is the adjective here. So we have to write down good, and then as, and then NP1. He is the NP1 here. So we are going to write down he. No other boy in the class is as good as he. No other boy in the class is as good as he. So sometimes my students are asking me, ma'am, why should we use he here? Why are not we using no other boy in the class is as good as him? Why are we not using him here? Dear boys, here is your answer. We have to write down, no other boy in the class is as good as he is. As we are going to write down he is, we are not writing is anymore. We stop until he. That's why here we are using the subject. Okay, no other boy in the class is as good as he. Okay, as we are writing he is, we are not going for is anymore. That's why we are using the subject here. Okay, no other boy in the class is as good as he. Okay, so here we have another example. Look at to this sentence. This is a comparative sentence. He is better than any other boy in the class. He is better than any other boy in the class. Okay, so again we are going to do the same thing. We are going to change this sentence from comparative to positive following this structure. So the answer is, no other boy in the class is as good as he. No other boy in the class is as good as he. Okay, so here you see, here we have another comparative sentence. He is better than all other boys. Is better than all other boys in the class. Okay, change this sentence from comparative to positive. Okay, the answer is, no other boy in the class is as good as he. No other boy in the class is as good as he. I hope you are clear about this rule. Okay, now let's move to the next slide. Here you can see two structures of comparative form. Okay, here you see NP1 plus be verb, adjective, comparative form of adjective, and you have to write down then any other plus NP2. This is singular and then extension. Okay, or you can use another structure for comparative degree, NP1 plus be, adjective, comparative form, then all other NP2, you have to write down the plural form, then extension. Okay, when you are going to change superlative or positive degree into comparative form, then you have to follow this structure. Okay, so here you have a superlative. Here you have a sentence having superlative degree. You see, she is the most intelligent girl in the village. She is the most intelligent girl in the village. So we are going to follow this structure, right? So which one is NP1 here? She is the NP1. Okay, okay. She is an NP1 here. Okay, and after that we have to write down be verb. She is. Then comparative form of adjective. But here we have superlative form, most intelligent. So we should not use the here because the is used only in superlative form. So now we need to use the comparative form. She is more intelligent. After that, we have to use than. She is more intelligent than any other NP. Any other NP is girl. Any other girl, and after that, in the village. Okay, when we are going to use all other, then we have to use the plural form for NP. So here are the answer. She is more intelligent than any other girl in the village. So you see, she is more intelligent than any other girl in the village. If you go for the second structure, then you can write down, she is more intelligent than all other girls in the village. She is more intelligent than all other girls in the village. Very easy. So here you can see another example. No other girl in the village is as wise as she. No other girl in the village is as wise as she. Okay, so we have to go for this structure if we want to change this positive uh, if we want to change this sentence having positive degree into comparative. So we have to follow this structure, right? Firstly, we have to write down the NP1. Which one is NP1 here? No other girl. So this is not NP1. Actually, she is the NP1, as we have to use this NP1 as our subject. Okay? We can say she, she, and be verb is. She is. Okay? So here you see wise is positive form of adjective. Okay, positive form of adjective. So we are going to write down wiser. Okay, she is wiser, and we are going to write down then according to the structure any other what girl, NP2, any other girl in the village. Okay, and if we want to go for the second structure, then we will write down all other girls in the village. So the correct answer is she is wiser than any other girl or all other girls in the village. She is wiser than any other girl in the village. She is wiser than all other girls in the village. Dear boys, are you clear about this rule? Yes, I hope that you are very clear about this rule, and it's very easy. Right. Okay. So when we have this type of structure, when we have this type of structure in our superlative, in our sentence having superlative form, you see NP plus be plus the adjective, superlative form NP, and extension. Okay, so here you see we are going to change this type of positive we are going to change these positive sentences into superlative following this structure. Okay, so no other student in class 10 is attentive as she. No other student in class 10 is attentive as she, right? So we are going to follow this structure. Firstly, we have to write down NP. So she is NP here. She and verb be verb is. We have be verb is here. She is the. So which one is adjective here? Attentive. She is the most attentive and what? Student in class 10. Right. She is the most attentive student in class 10. So NP, the first one is she, and this is be verb, and attentive is adjective. So we have used the superlative form of adjective here, and then here this is another NP and extension. Okay, so here we have comparative form of sentence. Leah is wiser than any other girl in the village. Leah is wiser than any other girl in the village. So we are going to do the same thing. We are going to change this comparative sentence into superlative. That's why we are going to follow this structure. Firstly, Leah is NP here. Okay, so we will write down Leah and be verb is, and we have to write down the superlative form of the adjective. So wiser, wisest. Leah is the wisest what? Girl. NP. This is another NP, girl in the village. This is the answer. Leah is the wisest girl in the village. Right. So when we have two persons and two things to compare, then we have to follow this structure. When we have to compare between two persons or two things, okay, who are not who don't have the same capability, okay, they don't have the same height. Suppose we are talking about height, talking about weight. They are not they don't have the same weight, same height, okay. So dear boys, when we are going to just compare between two things or two persons, then we are going to follow this type of structure. For comparative sentence, we will follow this structure. Firstly, NP1, be verb, adjective, comparative form of adjective, then an NP2. Okay, and here you see, for positive, we will follow this structure. NP2, be, not, plus so, and then adjective as NP1. So here you see, this is an example of comparative form. Rohim is stronger than Karim. So here you see, Rohim is NP1 and be verb, and comparative form of adjective stronger than Karim. Karim is NP2 here. So we are going to change this comparative sentence into positive. Okay. Firstly, what we need to do, we are going to change this comparative sentence into positive. So firstly, what we need to do, we have to write down NP2 first. So this is NP1 and this is NP2. And I'm telling you again that NP means noun or pronoun or noun phrase. So NP2 is Karim. So we are going to write down Karim first. So Karim and be verb is, Karim is not so. So adjective is strong, for stronger. So we will say Karim is strong, is not so strong as Rahim, as Rahim is NP1 here. So the correct answer is Karim is not so strong as Rahim. Karim is not so strong as Rahim. So the comparative form. Dina is wiser than Rina. Dina is wiser than Rina. Okay. So here you see, this is NP1 and this is NP2. Again, what are we going to do? We are going to change this comparative sentence into positive. Okay. So firstly, we are going to write down NP2. Rina is NP2 here and Dina is NP1. So we will write down Rina and auxiliary verb is not and so, then what? Wiser is our adjective here. So we are going to write down wise. Okay, Rina is not so wise as Dina. Okay, so the correct answer is Rina is not so wise as Dina. So here you see, here we have a positive form. You see, Eva is not so beautiful as Bibha. Eva is not so beautiful as Bibha. Now, what are we going to do? We are going to change this positive sentence into comparative. Okay, so here you see, firstly, we have to write down NP1. You see, this is positive degree. We are going to write down NP1. So, NP1 is Bibha. Okay, Bibha. Bibha, oh, NP1, Eva. Okay, so we are going to write down Bibha is, and then according to the structure, adjective, comparative form of adjective. Beautiful, more beautiful. Bibha is more beautiful than Eva. Okay, you see, Bibha is more beautiful than Eva. Bibha is more beautiful than Eva. Okay, so here we have another situation. So here we have two persons or two things having same capability. Suppose they have similar height, similar weight. Then how to compare with between two persons or two things. Okay, so this is the way of comparing between two persons or two things having same capability. So for positive, we will write down this structure: NP1, be verb plus as adjective, and as NP2. For example, he is as strong as Rokon. That means he has the similar. He is similar. He is similar strong to Rokon. Okay, they are similar uh, in strongness. Okay, so dear boys, so you see, let's check this structure with this sentence. So NP1, he is NP1 here, be verb as, and then strong is adjective here, as, and then NP2. So for comparative sentence, we have another structure. Firstly, we have to write down NP2, then be verb, not adjective, comparative form of adjective, then an NP2. So here you see, here he is NP1 and Rukun is NP2. So we are going to change this sentence into comparative form. So NP2, we are going to write down Rokon first, and then be verb, and then not, and then comparative form of adjective strong, stronger for strong, and then he. He is as strong as Rokon. Rokon is not stronger than he. Rokon is not stronger than he. He is. Okay. So he is as cunning as a fox. He is as cunning as a fox. So we are going to change this positive sentence into comparative. Okay, dear boys, here you see. Firstly, this is he is our NP1 and fox is NP2. So we are going to write down fox. Fox, a fox is not cunning. Okay, not more cunning than he. A fox is not more cunning than he. So this one is another example. You are as wise as I. I am not wiser than you. Okay, so dear boys, when we have one of the in our superlative sentence, then how to change this type of sentence from positive to superlative? Okay, here you have a structure. So NP1, be verb, one of the, adjective, NP2, plural form and phrase. Okay, so we have this type of sentence, and we will change this type of sentences from superlative to comparative and positive. So he is one of the best boys in Bangladesh. Here you see NP1. He is NP1 here. This is be verb, one of the, and adjective, uh, superlative form of adjective, the best boys, NP2, plural form of NP2, boys in Bangladesh. Okay, so we are going to change this superlative sentence into comparative, having one of the. Okay, so we have to follow this structure. Firstly, NP1, be verb, comparative form of adjective, then many other, NP2, plural form, and then phrase. So, what will be the answer? He is NP1 here, and then be verb. He is. Okay, then we should not use one of the. Okay, we are going to use comparative form of adjective. For best, we will use better. He is better than many other, and NP2, boys. Many other boys in Bangladesh. So this is the answer. He is better than many other boys in Bangladesh. And here you see, to change this type of sentence into positive, we have to follow this structure. Okay, to change a superlative sentence having one of the from superlative to positive, we have to follow this structure. Firstly, we have to write down very, very few, NP2, plural form, and then phrase, be verb, as, adjective, as, and NP1. Okay, so what are we going to do? Firstly, we are going to write down very few. And what is NP2 here? Boys. Very few boys in Bangladesh. Phrase. In Bangladesh, what? Is. As what? Better. For better, we will use good. Good as NP1. He. Okay, so the correct answer is very few boys in Bangladesh are as good as he. Right. Okay, so here we have some other example. English is one of the best languages of the world. Okay, so we are going to change this sentence in comparative. English is better than many other languages of the world. Very few languages in the world are as good as English. Okay, dear boys, I hope you are very clear about today's discussion, isn't it? Some rules and some examples are given. I hope you don't have any problem about our discussion. So, dear boys, we have discussed already so many rules and so many examples. If you find any problem while watching the video, feel free to ask me. Dear boys, take care. Thanks to you all.